Hi guys, let's create this transition together. It's a simple transition where you use the effect linear wipe, and also I will show you a tip on how to make a very simple reveal using a solid layer or a shape layer if you like. So let's dive in. So I created here a composition math 5 sliding in and out. It's over here in our test video, and let's start creating our animation over here. I'm gonna use a shape layer, double click to create the shape layer. We have a certain fill, that's fine for now. Let's go to FX and presets and look for linear. So you have the linear wipe here, and it's very practical to use it for transition. After all, it's under the group of transitions. I will take it and drop it on the layer itself. Now notice the linear wipe is very easy, it just wipes. Good, but let's be a bit more creative. First of all, let's give it an angle of 135. So you notice now the wipe is gonna come from a certain way. Let's start our animation here. I will go to 0 and keyframe the transition completion at 100%. Come, for example, after 20 frames, that's enough, and take it down to 50% only. Okay, 50%, just like here. Fine. So this is our animation. It's very simple. Good. Let's duplicate this layer. So I'll select it, Ctrl D to duplicate it, and now we have two layers that we want to change the color. Let's make the second layer a bit darker, for example. Okay. Now, if you select your keyframes, you press U, you play them, they are on top of each other. Of course, you want to shift the top layer a bit further, and I will play. Cool, not bad. They are very symmetrical and they're coming at equal distance. Let's select all the keyframes, press F9 to put an easy ease, go back to the graph here. Let's go now to the speed graph. Okay, I was in the other graph, the value graph, and let's do them just like this. So let's look at our animation, and they settle. Now what I like doing here, I don't want them to have the same timing between the entrance, that's 5 frames difference, and the exit also 5 frames. What I like to do is to bring this last keyframe a bit less. Now what happens is, it's like the bottom layer is following the top layer to close. Notice the distance is not always parallel. Gives you a nice animation up to here. So this is our animation. It's 2 seconds for now. The next thing I'm gonna do is to select these two layers and right click and pre-compose them. Here I'm gonna call them Math 5 single dash single. Press enter. Let's go back to the main composition. We have one pre-comp over here. Take this pre-comp and just duplicate it. Ctrl D, then open the rotation and rotate it 180 degrees. Okay, so now we have a very simple animation. They come in and they stay there. So how are we gonna create the reveal? We know very well at maybe 25 here, they're closing 100%. We want to start the reveal just over here. To do that, I will use a different technique here. I will select everything, double click to create a shape layer and give it the color completely white. This will be the reveal layer. Then I'm gonna open the rotation and simply give it -135, just like the linear wipe. Now notice it has become oblique. Come to the scale, okay, press S to get the scale, unlink and make it wider, just wider to cover everything. Good. At this stage here, I'm gonna keyframe the scale and put the Y at 0. Notice what's happening, it has disappeared. Go down the timeline, 10-15 frames, I'm going 20 frames and put it back at 100%. I need a bit more, so I will increase it to cover everything. Here you are. There is no waste of time or anything with unnecessary scales. I press the space bar, they cover, and the white opens. So it's gonna be a very nice matte. Let's go to the test video here. I press the space bar to play it. Here you are, it's very nice. Now I used different colors here. You can come and play with the colors the way you want here. You know, make them darker, I don't know what, lighter, depending on what you want to do. And you have a very nice animation. Like all other transitions, you can add a blur if you don't want this straight lines, or in fact if you come to the matte itself and select one layer, you have here a feathering that you can add. Okay, so you have a feathering here. You could add this feathering if you like to, I don't like it. I like it here in this case to be very sharp. That is the transition. It's very simple, very easy, and you can start manipulating now. I used 135-degree angle. You can change that. You can make it 120, you can make it 45, and see exactly how it works for you. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next lecture with a new mat. Let's create this speed rings transition. The aim of this transition is to draw attention that a new video is coming in, and you're showing like glimpse of the new video until it opens completely. Just a couple of seconds, but it creates some anticipation. So let's start creating this transition. I've of course created a mat here, mat 6, and put it on our test video so we can start working on it. Let's double click. You notice it's empty. Now the first thing we want to create is a circle. I've just click on the circle, come and draw a circle, press shift to have a real circle because I had an ellipse. Now if I want to center it, that's very easy. I will come into ellipse 1 inside contents, go to transform ellipse 1, and within the position here I put it 0 0. Is about the shape relative to the layer. Now they are centered 100%. Starting from here, I don't want any fill, so I will remove the fill, and I want a stroke, for example 80, 90, whatever you like. I will take it 90 will do, maybe. Then let's change the color a bit. You can make it a bit darker, the way you would like. That's good. And let's start animating it. I want to animate the size of the circle and the stroke width. To do that, it's not good at all to start working with the layer itself, because you know very well that if you scale up, you are going to scale also the stroke, and it's really ugly. I don't like it like this. So I will use the ellipse path size. So I will keyframe it here, and I want the stroke width over here. I will keyframe it, and the stroke width, for example, I will leave it to 90 because I want to decrease it. The size here, let's leave it to 0, and come, for example, after 20 frames, that will be enough. Increase it so it goes out of the composition, just like this, as simple as this. Okay, you can press a bit of shift to go faster than I'm doing. Then the stroke width here, I'm not going to take it to 0, I'm going to take it, for example, to 20. Now notice the effect here is quite cool. The stroke is getting smaller and the circle is growing and growing. Cool. You can add it to 30, it will be also nice. So we have this animation. Okay, so let's select all the keyframes here. Press F9 to easy ease them. But I want to work only on the size now. So I will go to the graph editor and make a bit gentle curve. This is a more gentle curve in my opinion. You can keep it on easy ease, but this will give you a nice influence here. You notice? Pretty cool. You can play with the stroke width if you like to. You can do it just the same. Okay, just like this a bit, and from this side just a bit. Okay, so it's quite cool. Now having one layer is fine, but you can add more layers. I will press Ctrl D to add another layer, and Ctrl D another layer. Now it's nice to have many rings, it's up to you. I prefer to have 2 rings, then the mat itself or the white circle will open to uncover everything. But you can add as many rings as you want. Select all of them, press U to see the keyframes, and now let's start timing them. I will give them 10 frames. The point here is to, not one after the other very fast, but to give them some time. Maybe the last one I'll give it even more. That will be interesting, and it's up to you now to time it the way you would like. The last layer, of course, is going to be the reveal layer. So I will go to the fill here and put full fill. I don't want any stroke at all, and I will have to remove the keyframes from the last one. The stroke is at 0. Here you are, all the way. There is no stroke. So you have 1, 2, and the circle itself, that is the reveal. So it's pretty cool now. Let's go and test it and see, does it work? Is it nice? Is it superb, in fact? Let's press spacebar to play. Well, it is not that good because the color here, I think it is too dark. Maybe we'll change them. We will go to the speed mat and select the 2 layers here and go to the stroke and make them a bit lighter towards the white, so it gives us certain influence, but it's not gonna show too much. Just like this will do, I think so. Let's go back, see the effect here. Press spacebar to play. Here you are, not bad at all. You notice the first one and the second one. Now there are very many variations that you can do here. For example, if you go back to the same one, and at the first keyframe here, you want maybe to increase the size to 120 of the stroke, and the stroke will be going, very big and then getting smaller. That's up to you. I'll give it, for example, here 100, and also for the same here, I'll press I for in point and give it 100, just a bit bigger, and let's play it. Not bad at all. I like it very much. Now, if you want to have feathering, of course, you have to come to Effect and Preset and add a blur, for example, the box blur. I will right click, I will add new adjustment layer, of course, and I added the adjustment layer just above the two first circles. I think that will be cool. And let's go to the blur and sharpen. Let's take the fast box blur, put it on the adjustment layer, and just put it, for example, at 5, just to have very light blurring. Let's go back to the animation and see, do you like this? Do you want the blur? So let's play it and see the effect of the blur. If you like it, that's fine. It's just pretty speedy. You can see it a little. I will not put the blur here. I will keep them very sharp. So this is the transition. It's up to you now to do some changes, play with it. Maybe also you can duplicate and have circles coming from both sides, not just from the middle. But for now, I showed you the principle. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you in the next lecture with a new math.